In this video, I will showcase how to properly configure the sweat equity configurations. To begin, you will have to navigate to the Administration tab under the Settings navigation dropdown. Under Data Management, you will then have to click on the sweat equity configurations. Here you will see three tabs of the Template Configuration Overview, the Sweat Equity Type Configuration Overview, and the Sweat Equity Member Type Configuration Overview. First, I will begin with the Member Type Configuration Overview. On clicking this tab, you will see that you have a pre-configured list of 5 different sweat equity member types. And as a reminder, these sweat equity member types will be the ones available when filling out a sweat equity ticket. If you would like to add an additional sweat equity member type, you'll have to click the green button called New Sweat Equity Member Type located at the top right of the page, where you will then be able to define the title, the member type of being a designee, household member, or a donor, which sweat equity types they are not allowed to donate to or contribute to, with the legacy relationship code pertaining to migration, so you do not have to fill this out. If you would like to edit a specific sweat equity member type, you will have to click the blue pencil icon located at the top on the right side of the page. Here you will again be able to modify the title of the sweat equity member type, the member type, the restricted sweat equity member types, as well as the legacy relationship code. If you would like to delete a specific sweat equity member type, you will have to click the red trash icon located on the right side of the page. As you can see, for the designee, we currently have the member type listed as designee with the restricted sweat equity types of education. For the household member sweat equity member type, you'll see we have designated the member type as a household member with no restricted sweat equity types. For the coworker, friend, and relative sweat equity member types, they are currently marked as the donor member type and will contribute to the total donated calculated hours. Moving on to the sweat equity type configuration overview, you'll see a pre-configured list of 4 sweat equity types. As a reminder, these sweat equity types are available again on a sweat equity ticket under the sweat equity type dropdown. If you would like to add a new sweat equity member type, you will have to click the green button called New Sweat Equity Type. Here you will be able to define the label, whether it is the construction sweat equity type, if donations are allowed for this specific sweat equity type, and if this sweat equity type has classes. If you would like to edit a specific sweat equity type, you will have to click the blue pencil icon located on the right, and you will be able to edit the previously mentioned fields. If you would like to delete a specific sweat equity type, you will have to click the red trash icon located on the right side of the page. As you can see here, for the construction sweat equity type, you'll see that I have designated it as the construction sweat equity type. For the education sweat equity type, you'll see that I have allowed for donations as well as designated the sweat equity type to have classes. Once you have designated a sweat equity type to have classes, you'll then be able to add classes using the green button located on the right hand of the page. And define the class name, whether it is the orientation class, and if this class can be waived. Next, we will move on to the sweat equity template configuration overview. Here you will see a predefined list of 3 sweat equity templates of New Braunfels, San Antonio, and Seguin. These templates are used to define the numbers, such as how many construction hours is required, the total number of required hours, as well as how many donation hours is allowed for an applicant. If you would like to add a new sweat equity template configuration, you will have to click the green New Sweat Equity Template button located at the top right of the page. Here you will be able to define the name of the template, the minimum required hours for this location, the maximum donated hours for a single applicant, and the maximum donated hours for a non-single applicant. This dropdown of build locations are defined by the build location configurations in the back office. As a reminder, it is located under Data Management in Build Location Configurations. If you would like to edit a specific sweat equity template, you'll have to click the blue pencil icon located at the right, and you will be able to define the name, minimum required hours, maximum donated hours for a single applicant and non-single applicant, as well as define the build location. If you would like to delete a specific sweat equity template, you will have to click the red trash icon located on the right side of the page. Within each template, you will be able to define sweat equity template row configurations by clicking the green New Sweat Equity Template row. Here, you will define which sweat equity type you are trying to configure, whether you are trying to define a maximum or a minimum number of hours, and then the hours associated to the maximum or minimum. As you can see here for the configuration that I have already existing for new Braunfels, you'll see that there is a configuration for the construction sweat equity type with a minimum of 135 hours required. If you would like to delete a specific template row configuration, you will have to click the red trash icon located on the right.